Hi, I'm Tim Kilduff, and this is Business Matters. Business Matters is an HCAM show that focuses on people who run and manage local businesses being those in Hopkinton. Today we have with us Stephanie G., the owner of a jewelry store. I don't think that's absolutely the right way to introduce this. It's far more than a jewelry store, I've come to understand. But Stephanie G. runs a jewelry store on Main Street. And so thanks for taking the time. I'm stuttering because I don't know how we're going to get through all of this. There's so many layers, I think, to what to you, to your experience, family experience, and then how does one run a store at a very high level in Hopkinton. I think there are a lot of people that probably when you started thought, well, I don't know how that's going to work, but let's go. It feels to me like you were born into this business.
So I am a fourth generation family jeweler. My family started in 1919 in Milford, and my family had the first department store. They sold 6 pairs of Levi's for $1 because it was a granite town. And then it evolved into more of a mall store, some crystal china, bridal, jewelry, and it's been that way for the last, until I am an offshoot of that business, and I actually custom design. My specialty, I've done everything from repairs, everything, and I've trained with them all my life after I did school and gemological school, and now I'm running my own separate business.
Right. When did you start this the internship part of what you do?
My internships, I would say, started about when I was 7 years old. I used to make bows in the back room, and at 8 I started engraving. And we also had a trophy shop, so I've done drilling marble trophies. I started when I was a kid. So I've been engraving, forever. So that's another thing I've done. So
there's the hands-on part of that, right? The training, but then there's got to be some formal training.
The formal training, the best training I've ever had is retail. Being on the counter, training.
Really?
The goldsmiths, I've worked with the same goldsmiths for decades. And new goldsmiths. However, some of the best goldsmiths in New England, those were the ones that really trained me. And then I took over our repair department of our family business. That was fantastic training. And then I actually went out, after college, I went out to Gemological Institute of America in California, which is the laboratory where they grade diamonds. And that's where I continued my degree in Gemological Institute. So, plus design. I actually stayed and did design. So.
Were you born in Milford?
Milford.
High school there?
Milford
College where?
UMass Amherst with a degree in retail and entrepreneurship.
Really? And then on to the into the institute.
Then years of retail.
Okay.
So I did hands-on. So when I actually went out to the gem school, I was in my late 20s. I was old. I was old for there. However, I had the people that were in my age group at that time had more training. We weren't just there learning about gems. We actually could do everything hands-on. So when I started designing out there, I was able to design jewelry that was more everyday friendly versus doing pieces that were for the runway. So a lot of the younger people were doing these intricate design pieces that were things that you couldn't wear every day, but because I had already been working with pieces that you wear every day, I would make things that were, bridal jewelry, bracelets, things that the average person could wear. So
if there were people that were trying to design for the runway, that's got to be a pretty narrow
it's
career
not realistic,
path, no?
Right. Exactly. You can make very interesting pieces, but does it translate into the masses, what people usually, wear every day?
And so that education went on for how long? What kind of length of time were we talking about?
A couple of years. And then after that, I've been doing different degrees for the last 15 years. I've been doing different degrees after that, and pearls, continuing my education. There's always something new to learn about. Where do you do that? I do it through GIA, but home study. And then I fly to New York. There's laboratories. There's different places that you have to take testing. Really? So if the young people that are coming into your store that may take a liking to the environment and want to do that kind of work, what's the path? What would be at least one path? Right. There may be multiple. It's not easy. because the jewelry business is, a lot of it's made up of family businesses. And there's a lot of internships and a lot of learning hands-on. So getting a degree is one of the best things I can suggest, because you learn about gemstones, diamonds, but you need the hands-on. You need to know, you need to work in the field to know what to sell and how to repair something and what people like and how to deal with people every day, and pretty much.
So when you came to, when you decided to create Stephanie G's in Hopkinton, I always ask this question because I always wonder why people end up here. Now, you're in Milford, so you're next door, and I'm sure you paid attention to why Hopkinton? You could have gone to, heaven forbid, Ashland or someplace like that.
I actually lived out in the Boston area for 15 years, and I was out in Boston when we decided to open Hopkinton. And a friend of ours had suggested the area, the space, and I liked it. I mean, I liked being out here. The people are nice. The people they want more quality product. And a lot of times, you know, I'm a mom. I have a young child. I can't make it into the city. And I wanted to give the people out here something that they deserve. They deserve to have someone who's educated, someone who has nicer jewelry. We're a full-service jewelry store. We do intricate jewelry repairs, intricate watch repair. We do high-end watch repair from Rolex, IWC, Patek Philippe. And, you know, I also, and this is a very personal thing, I wanted to be within 15 minutes of my child at all times.
Yeah.
So.
It sounds like you have a staff bigger than I would assume you have. How many employees do you have?
I have a very large staff. People come in and they cannot get over, because the amount of people I have on the counter is as many people as I have in the back room. So even though I keep it as a small space, we actually wear keys, everything's locked. I mean, it's a very high security place. There are cameras. Every single door in the store is locked with a different key. So every different person has access. One person has access to getting into the back room. One person has access just to getting into the kitchen area. We keep it very secure. But we have a pretty big staff. We have a lot going on. So it's
not like walking into a jewelry store in a mall.
Mm-mm. And if we need more people, everyone in the back is trained to help everyone out front. Maybe on a different level, but they're always ready to help.
So do you spend, how much time do you have to spend on personnel related stuff?
I'd say the average appointment's probably at least an hour, and that's sometimes the first appointment. If they're doing design work, a lot of times they need another appointment, follow-up appointment. It's a big decision, making jewelry or redesigning jewelry, or if someone's coming in to buy, that's different. But if someone's coming in to redesign, it's very personal to take apart your rings, your bridal rings. You have to make a right decision, because most people don't do it more than once in their lifetime.
So how do you break down the business? There's the repair business, the design business, this off the street, I need to buy something for Saturday night.
Yeah, I would say the biggest part of the business is repairs and design. And a lot of times out of repairs come design, because people will wear the jewelry for 10, 15 years and they want to repair it if a stone has fallen out, but they really need to fix the ring, and at that point, ring, earrings, whatever it is, at that point they usually sometimes reset whatever they have. Because gold jewelry usually has a lifespan of 10 to 20 years, sometimes 30 years. So.
Really? Mm-hmm. Huh. See, the assumption on all of this stuff I think for most, I'm probably average. Yeah, people I don't think people are aware of that.
No, jewelry is a mystery, and to a lot of people, it's not like you can pick up a Consumer Reports and figure out things. That's why you need someone who can explain to you exactly what you're buying, the lifespan. I mean, that's my background. I've been doing jewelry so long in repairs. I design out of, you know, people have a lot of problems with jewelry over the years. Sometimes their stones fall out, the prongs aren't good. So when I design things that I will think that, you know, I want them to come in, I want them to clean their jewelry, I don't want them to have problems. So most of the pieces I try to design are for everyday wear and something that they'll get at least a couple decades out of.
So what's your a typical day for you?
For me? From the store on?
From the store on,
From
yeah.
the store on.
Yeah, the store on, yeah. We could deal with the other some other time.
So we arrive in the store an hour before opening. It takes us about an hour to put out all the jewelry because everything is locked away.
Okay.
We open at 10 a.m. Most days we close at 5. Wednesdays we're open until 8 o'clock at night. My day is a little different. I mean, I'm managing a business. At the same time, I'm doing everything, the background work. I do have people to help me. I have appointment only. I will help people anytime that I'm free, but most of my day is appointments. I have people scheduled to come in. So it makes it easier because then I can make sure my day is accessible for the people who want to see me. I probably have hour appointments. I design most of the day. I'm doing repairs. I do estimates. I oversee everything, soup to nuts. 99.9% goes through me. I micromanage everything. So when diamonds come in, when jewelry comes in, I know everything that's going on.
So in terms of managing a small business, you mentioned the word micromanage.
Mm-hmm.
I never thought in those terms, but if you're going to run a small business, you really have to be able to do that, don't you?
Right, right. Especially jewelry, because when people are dropping off their jewelry, they want to know that it's secure. And sometimes, I mean, even myself, it's uncomfortable to drop off your jewelry with someone that you don't know or you don't know who's touching it. So we have it down to basically just myself and one other person that has access to our safe, our large safe. So no one else touches any of the jewelry after it comes in. There's just 2 people. And
so the business aspect of this, there's a whole nother layer with this security issue, I think, lopped on top of it. You're not just selling shirts.
Right. So when people drop off their jewelry, we actually take pictures of everything. We're very technologically advanced. So we take pictures of every piece of jewelry that comes into the store. We look at it under the microscope. We notate anything, if it's missing a prong, if there's anything about it, the color. We give the receipts to people. They all have pictures of their own jewelry. And if it's a diamond or a gemstone, we actually map it under the microscope so people can identify their own stones.
See, I asked you earlier about this is a pretty high level operation,
Mm-hmm.
and I think I would guess most people don't understand how high level it is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're providing services that you would find in some pretty high level stores.
Right, right.
And it's working in Hopkinton.
It's working. I think it's working because we have a fantastic staff. The customer base is very nice. They're looking for quality. And they can come in and make their own judgments. As far as the jewelry, we carry nicer quality jewelry. We carry everything from $10 to, you name it, from high-end pieces. We're not a boutique. We are a full-service jewelry store. I have one of 6 degrees in the state of Massachusetts. I can go into courts. I do estate. I do appraisals.
What do you mean 6? You're one of 6. So what?
There's appraisal degrees. So what I did is after I went for my gemological degrees, I went for my appraisal degrees. So a small offshoot of the business, which we'll go into more, and the reason I don't advertise is because we're actually inundated right now, but it will be another part of the business that I open and expand, our appraisals for insurance purposes and estate purposes.
So, is it fair to say that you're an expert?
Definitely, definitely.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Huh. And so that transfers to the staff, so the quality of the staff has to be high.
Right.
Their training has to be pretty extensive, I would imagine.
Right. Like I said, I micromanage, and as we do repairs, as repairs come in, I teach them, because that's the only way they're going to learn. So every one of my staff really knows a lot about jewelry repair, about designing. They know more than the average person working in a jewelry store.
With this level of expertise, what would you define as your market area? Where do you draw from?
So I decided a couple of years ago that I wanted to market towards women, because most jewelry stores market towards men. They do diamonds and watches. That's what men buy, watches and diamonds. So I decided that's not what I want to do. I want to go after women. I want to help the women like myself. I've been married 10 years, and I have been haunting my husband for the last 2 years that I want to redesign my ring. And there are a lot of women out there that didn't get a chance to pick out their own ring, and
most of them, right?
Most of them, and want to do something with their ring. They want to make it their own design. They want to use their diamonds. They want to use their gemstones. And it's not because, like myself, it's not because, I love my husband and I'm not ready to give him up. I just want a new ring.
Right.
So it's a very delicate thing to talk to someone about that, for them to talk about their spouse about that. But that's what I want to do. I want to go after people who want to redesign their jewelry, whether it's from their grandmother, it's from their spouse, it's from their significant other, and to recycle, reuse. And it's mostly women who do that.
How do where was I recently? Was it Route 9 on the electronic billboard?
Mm-hmm. And the static billboard too.
Yeah. So you've got this little, that's great, you've got this market in Hopkinton, but you obviously must be drawing from a surrounding area.
Definitely other towns, but I have people from all over the United States, even when they leave Hopkinton or they have left Milford or any, I have customers in New York, Connecticut, Rhode Island, California. We tend to keep our customer base, because it's very intimate and it's very personal, and when people find someone that they trust, it doesn't matter where they are, they want to work with that person.
Is there something in the community, if you could wave a magic wand, is there anything that's sort of obvious? We don't have to get into the politics of downtown and all that kind of stuff, but is there anything that you wish was a little better?
As far as the...
It just in the community and the environment in which you work. Sounds like you're doing pretty well.
Yeah, I love the area. I think it's fantastic, and I think the people are fantastic. They're very nice. They're very down to earth. They're very nice to my staff. They want, they just want customer service, and they want to know that they're getting quality. And no, I think everything's been really great. Maybe for myself, we have a little problem with seeing the store. We have, where I'm located. Sometimes the people don't know I'm there. Right. Because of the trees and the bushes and.
Interesting.
And
right,
that's probably the only thing that.
Do you have to fight the urge, and maybe you want to expand, but do you seem like the kind of person that would be sitting there saying, okay, well now, how about the expansion part of it? Does that interest you, or?
Yes, to a point. I probably will not open a brick and mortar store. I'll open offices and go into the design and the appraisals. So I'll have offices in different areas, and I'll go back and forth, and I'll travel. For now, I'm waiting for my son another 2 years, so he can have me around for another 2 years until he goes to school, and then I'll start expanding. But we're actually already looking at offices in different areas.
Wow. How far do you see yourself going in terms of the?
I'll definitely stay in Massachusetts. It would probably be somewhere outside of Boston. I've been looking in Rhode Island, a little bit, the border of Rhode Island. Yeah. The thing is, if I expand, what happens is if people expand too much and they don't have control, that's when quality goes down.
Right, right.
So we have built a very big business, even though it's a very small space. It's a very big business, and people don't realize how much we do. The repair department is phenomenal. We do laser technology. We do a tremendous amount of CAD design. We do 3D CAD design, computer design, everything. Yeah. So it's, like I said, we are definitely technologically advanced.
Wow. How much advertising do you end up doing? Or is it, I would assume a lot of what you do now is word of mouth.
It's word of mouth. But we actually do a lot of billboards. Billboards
have
helped.
Noticed, right.
We've done magazines. We do some print ads. But word of mouth, it's now, I have seen a tremendous amount in the last, I'd say, year of people telling me who they know. My friend is so-and-so. She had her ring designed. She's so happy. I decided to come down. That, I've seen the connection. It's incredible to see who's friends. I didn't know that people were connected, that everyone knows everyone.
Very interesting, that connection. And that's a really fascinating concept, the connection. So what do you worry about? And you may not be worrying about anything, I hope you're not, but what preoccupies you? What concerns do you have? What challenges are there?
I'd say the average Valentine's Day, Christmas, things like that is not our big business. Our business is focused on repairs. So when people I don't focus on the holidays as much, other than Mother's Day. I don't focus on the holidays as much as I used to. I focus on being a full-service business all the time, not just when Christmas rolls around, when the holidays roll around, when Valentine's rolls around. It's about, our business is about repairs and design, and which is all the time. We're busier than ever.
So it's not like I refer to the malls only because you walk by all these stores and that they do they're more retail, aren't they?
They're more retail. Yeah, I mean, we do have a lot of we do have great gifts. I mean, we have teachers' gifts, and we have you can come in and pick up anything. We have a little of everything, so it makes it.
That brings up a point. I don't want to miss this. You did some work for Brandeis. Mm-hmm. And you also did some work for the 300th. You're involved in the community. Right. How much of that do you do? The Brandeis is an interesting story.
I created a pin for Brandeis, and what they do is they commission different jewelers. They've done very big manufacturers too, and it was commissioned to make a 2-year pin. So we did that a couple of years ago. As far as the 300th committee, I created a Pandora-style charm that could go on necklaces, bracelets, and we donate a part of the proceeds. So to try to help the community, to try to raise money for that event too.
Well, and the 300th is an interesting exercise. I do some work in Greece and in other countries, and I talk about 300 years, and I have to laugh when I'm talking to my friends in Athens about 300 years.
I know.
It's considerably different. What kind of hopes for the future?
What kind of hopes for the future?
Besides getting through the next 2 years, and and getting your son ready for school, which is really critical.
It is critical. I would say right now I'm looking into, we do a little bit right now, but there's 3D imaging coming out. A lot of people are just starting to see it, where they make jewelry and different things, and that's one of our new ventures that we're going to be going into. More of the 3D CAD computer design. We do that a lot. We do a tremendous amount of that. And appraisals for insurance purposes, estate purposes, definitely growing that part of the business.
Did you have to spend a lot of time on this, the technological side of what you do? I mean, you had to do some training in that area, I would think.
It is, and I found some great programs and great people, and just talking to people, going to jewelry shows, going to trade shows, picking people's brains, trying to figure out what's the best avenue. I work a lot. Usually people get emails from me after 10 o'clock at night. I work after I put the little one to bed. I get up at 9 o'clock at night and I start working. So that's when I do most of my research.
And then when the little one gets up in the morning, you're up in the morning.
I'm up, we're going, and then I drop him off and I come to work, and working all day. I never sit down. This is the most I sit down during the day.
I'm interested in what has to happen in the dynamic. You've got small space, mm-hmm. You've got a lot of technology now, you have a number of employees. That dynamic, what's the secret of making that? And maybe there isn't, but is there a secret to making that all work?
We definitely need more space. We are desperate for more space. We started creeping into our next door neighbors, which is empty, so we'll see what happens there. We have a fantastic staff. Everyone gets along. Everyone works well together. Everyone brings something to the table that's different. My staff is extremely organized. I'm the creative one. So when I start to veer off and be in the creative zone, they are all very, very organized to keep everything in line, to make sure that everything gets done during the day, so that I can, as time goes on, I can start being more creative, working with appointments during the day, and stop doing as much background work, hopefully.
Does the staff pretty much work on an appointment basis too?
A lot of them do. A lot of them do. We just need appointments, because when people are working with their jewelry, they want to be taken care of. They don't. It's something personal. So we want to make sure that they're set up with the right person.
Yeah, you don't. I've experienced that, where you walk into a place and somebody else walks in. Excuse me for a minute.
Right.
And you're sitting there looking at stuff, you have no idea what you're looking at.
Right. Right. So sometimes we'll switch. I mean, if I have designated appointments or we have appointments with people, we always stay with them. If it's something that we can switch and help someone, we'll do that. You know, the men definitely walking in the store. It's not easy. It's not easy to walk into a jewelry store and know. But we have a huge wish list. So a lot of the women come in and we write down what they like, everything from, you know, $10, $20 and up, to give the gentlemen and significant others ideas for different holidays.
Is your the wish list computerized as well?
Everything's computerized.
Really?
Everything is computerized in the store.
You know, I continue to be, we have these discussions with a number of people in Hopkinton, and I am continually amazed because there are assumptions made about not just businesses but people as well.
Yep.
And I'm struck by the quality of what you do, the depth, the sort of expansive nature of what you do, and I hope if nothing else, people begin to, in Hopkinton, and get to understand that there's some pretty unique people doing some pretty unique things in this town.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of people that have a tremendous amount of knowledge in their own business that have decided that they wanted to be in the town of Hopkinton. They want to be somewhere that they're happy. They want quality of life. They don't necessarily need to be near the city to give you a quality business.
You know, I'm struck. I said this was going to go quick, and it did. The time's up, but I'm wondering if you'd be willing to come back. I think it would be fun to put 2 or 3 small business people in the center of this town in a room and start talking about what you just said, about the community, drawing people in, the quality of the people. And I hope you'd be willing to do that.
I'd love to. I'd love to. I think
thanks.
that'd be really nice.
Thanks for taking the time.
Thank you very much.
Another interesting program. Another interesting example of really quality people doing quality work.
Hola, soy Lourdes Estefan, presentadora de Sal y Pimienta. El tratamiento contra el cáncer puede robarle belleza, seguridad y autoestima, causa cambios en la piel y en el cabello, pero luzca bien, siéntase mejor, puede ayudar. Visite lookgoodfeelbetter.org y permítanos ayudarle a sentirse como usted misma otra vez.